In 3, 2, in 3, 2, welcome! ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Wednesday, the 6th of March. Good to have you aboard, part of the Believe Podcast Network, and presented as always by Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733, title sponsor of everything ZASLOW Show 2.0. If you're in an accident, wasn't your fault, you need to be compensated the way you deserve, and Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys are the ones who are going to take care of you, treat you like family. 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. Glad to be with you here on a Wednesday. It's a big news day. Off to a little bit of a late start today. A couple reasons. Number one, I hosted Driving the Line this morning. YouTube.com/@DrivingTheLine. I was in for my man Jonathan Coachman. He's on the PGA Tour. You can go back and watch that. Give out all the winning plays for the day. So we did Driving the Line. Again, I was the host this morning. I'm hosting it again tomorrow. So I hope you guys hang out with us. And also, I got roofers here at my house today. So we got to a little bit of a late start. I hope you don't hear any banging or anything like that. If you do, it's not on your end. It's on my end. You know where it's coming from. Now, of course, if we're talking about winning plays, Bet Online continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs. That includes pro and college hoops throughout the rest of this year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, trends, you could follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or your mobile devices. Head to BetOnline today. Become part of the team. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. So, this is a big news day. We'll get to that coming up. It ends up working out that I got off to a little bit later start than normal because we get to talk about the big breaking news involving your favorite little hockey team. We'll get to that coming up. Everybody calm down. All right. First, though, you know the way we like to start the show. Let's get to what happened last night. So, we got a few NBA news and notes to get to. 4 games really stood out to me last night. The Boston Celtics had their 11-game win streak snapped last night at a very shorthanded Cleveland Cavaliers team. The Celtics were up by 22 with 9 minutes left in this game. And the same way Max Strus went crazy last week in that game against Dallas and led the fourth quarter comeback. This time it was Dean Wade, not D-Wade, Dean Wade, who went crazy in the fourth quarter, led the comeback. The Cavs went up by 105-104. And with seconds remaining, Jason Tatum, they call a foul with 0.7 of a second remaining. Super questionable. They go to review. No one touched him. If anything, it should have been an offensive foul on Jason Tatum because he's always pushing off. Every time he drives, he always pushes off. We know this as Heat fans. They never call it. That should have been an offensive foul, if anything. But instead, they make it a no-call, jump ball. Cavs win 105-104. The Rockets beat the Spurs last night. That's not such a big deal. What is a big deal is Alperen Şengün, 45 points for Houston. I feel like he's the star player no one talks about in this league. The Pacers beat the Mavericks last night, 137-120. Don't look now, but the Mavs are just 34-28. Big-time phony team, big-time pretender. No surprise that a team that is invested in Kyrie Irving is going to flop. And finally, probably the biggest news of last night, the Suns, huge road win in overtime in Denver, 117-107. So that's really a little bit of what happened last night. Your favorite little basketball team, the Miami Heat. Last night, they were at home against the Detroit Pistons, and you know what? This game went pretty much exactly the way that I thought it would, which is it's going to be tight, and then the Heat are essentially going to pull away in the fourth quarter. Well, the Heat were up by 2 at halftime. It was tight, and in the fourth quarter, it was never really in doubt. I mean, the Pistons managed to keep it close, and then you had a great stretch from Terry Rozier, who got you a basket, which made it I think a 5-point game. Then he hit a 3. Well, actually, then he set up Robinson for the 3. That made it 8 points, and away you go. So the Heat win 118-110. Jimmy Butler, 27 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. Bam had 18. Duncan Robinson. You can't say enough good things about Duncan. He had 18 points. He was 4-9 from the floor. He had this one move. I think he used Steve Smith's hezzy dribble, where he came around the baseline, up and under, spun it off the glass. Duncan Robinson was a forgotten guy last year. And he comes back. Duncan Robinson is him and Bam, maybe Bam's the only one. Bam is the only player who has been on this team longer than Duncan Robinson. You know, Duncan Robinson's been on the team for 6 years. He's the all-time leader in three-point field goals. Duncan Robinson, last night he had 18 points. He was 4-9 from 3. Duncan Robinson is an all-time great Miami Heat player. He is. He's the all-time leader in three-point field goals. He's been here for 6 years already. And the way that he has turned his career around, he couldn't get off the bench. What did he do? Never complained, never whined, never bitched and moaned. He decided, you know what? I'm going to get better. Exactly what Coach Spoelstra says, make me play you. He has made the coach play him. It's been great in big moments in the playoffs. That's why he played a lot last year. He was great in the finals in 2020, and he's going to be great for them again this year. Duncan Robinson is an all-time great Miami Heat player. I'm so proud to see what he's accomplished and the way that he has turned around his career now with the Heat. You're not going to catch, you had everyone complaining about his contract. You're not going to have a single Heat fan not only not complaining about his contract, but is there a Heat fan out there who wants Robinson traded? I know the deadline's passed, but wants Robinson traded, wants him to move him in the offseason? He is he is an integral part of this team. I'm so proud of Duncan Robinson. So Duncan had 18 points. He was 4-9 from 3 last night. Terry Rozier, 17 points and 7 assists. Continues to be a home run acquisition. And how about this? Not just Terry Rozier, what Delon Wright has given you. Shaggy, be quiet. What Delon Wright has given, I told you, I got roofers at the house. Yo, Shaggy, it's okay, dude. Go lay down. I'm sorry about that, everybody. Delon Wright, and who gives you depth. He has, when the Heat have guys like, when Rozier is playing, you're not going to need as much from Delon Wright. How about yesterday? They also signed Patty Mills. That's right. Patty Mills, a guy who's played in the NBA Finals, a guy who has serious veteran experience, a guy who can play you don't want him to play too much. You got Terry Rozier, but very much in that Gabe Vincent mold, a guy who you can count on when he's out there to make smart plays, can defend a little bit, can hit big threes in the playoffs. That came out of nowhere, signing Patty Mills yesterday. So, excellent job there. And, look, I think I saw it's either the best record or the second best record in the league since January 31st. 35-26 now. Anybody surprised? It's happening again. It's totally happening again. The thing that we all knew was going to happen. The Miami Heat are going to be much better in the second half of the season than they were in the first half of the season. Jimmy Butler is going to be playoff Jimmy, ramping up toward the end of the season, and we're going to get to the postseason, and nobody's going to want to play us. And they're talking about that now on national TV. What did I tell you? I told you we're going to get to a place where this Heat team is going to go on a run. They're going to be climbing the standings, and everybody's going to start talking about how nobody wants to see this Miami Heat team. But we all knew this was coming. I was warning you, this is exactly what's going to happen. It's the same shit as last year. We're going to get to the postseason, and nobody wants to play the Miami Heat. And they're going to make the same kind of run as they did last year. And we're going to meet Boston, be it the second round, Eastern Finals, I don't know. But every Boston fan is going to be shaking in their fucking boots. And every Heat fan can't wait to ruin Boston's season again. Nobody is afraid of the Celtics. So the Heat now, 35-26, season best, 9 games over 500. it's a logjam really between 4 and 7. All 4 of those teams have 26 losses. So the Heat are 6th at 35 and 26. They're a half game back right now of numbers 4 and 5, Orlando and New York. I would expect the Heat to jump to number 4 by the end of the season. So if you want to avoid Boston, though, until the Eastern Finals, I don't care about that. You got to go through Boston at some point. I would just rather not play Boston the first round. You want to play this? If it's going to be second round, fine. I don't care. I would just rather avoid them in the first round. So if you want to get to number 4, number 5, and you could be playing a team like Orlando or New York or maybe Indiana in the first round, I think that's more advantageous. Right now at number 6, the Heat would face Cleveland in the first round. See, that's number 4, you get home court advantage in the first round. But it's just in one round. And this Heat team, you don't care if they have home court advantage. Last year, they didn't have home court advantage any series. Matter of fact, the way this Heat team is made up, I like starting a series on the road. There's no pressure on you. Because if the Heat were to lose the first 2 games at home, on the road, I have full confidence in them bouncing back and getting both games at home. But if you start out on the road and you get one of those first 2 games, which I would fully expect the Miami Heat to do, like they always do, now you're golden. Now you're in the driver's seat because I expect them to come home and protect home court. That's how you get the upset. You get one of those first 2 games, and then you go up 3-1. That's the way the Heat have been doing it in past years, be it against Milwaukee a couple times or against Boston a couple times. They start out stealing one of their against New York last year, and then they go up 3-1. I love starting on the road. So I think they're going to get to number 4, but I don't care if they do. And matter of fact, the way to go is to finish number 6, is to finish where they are right now at number 6, which you'd be lined up to play either Milwaukee or Cleveland in the first round. Probably Cleveland. Either Milwaukee or Cleveland in the first round. You beat either one of them. Nobody's worried about that. And then you're on the side of the bracket that would face the 2-7 winner, which right now would be Milwaukee, Philadelphia. And then you avoid number 1 Boston until the East Finals. So I think the Heat are going to get to number 4. But this number 6 spot that they're currently in right now, that's actually the money spot, I would say. We don't care about home court advantage. So it's all happening for the Heat, man. They're playing their best basketball right now. Everybody is scared of the Heat. Next up for the Heat, Thursday at home against the Dallas Mavericks. Nobody's afraid of the Mavericks. Nobody's afraid of Kyrie Irving. That team is flopping like normal. Now, I do want to get to something that I saw on ESPN yesterday. First, though, I got to tell you guys, if you're thinking about getting a new car, I send you to North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. You know this, because at North Fort Lauderdale Subaru, you're walking in the showroom doors there. You don't have to be anxious. You don't have to be nervous. You don't have to wonder if you're going to get swindled. Getting a new car should be a fun experience. So I send you to North Fort Lauderdale Subaru, where you're going to be treated like royalty. If you want an indoor, relaxed car shopping experience, or you're just looking to have your vehicle serviced, you're going to be treated like royalty at North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. Did you know they service all makes and models? So even if you're not driving a Subaru right now, you're going to take your car to North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. You're going to get serviced with confidence. North Fort Lauderdale Subaru promises to provide their customers an exceptional experience. It's that brand new state-of-the-art facility on North Andrews Avenue. You can see it from I-95 at the Cypress Creek Road exit. And with an extensive new and pre-owned Subaru inventory, plus used cars, trucks, SUVs of every make and model, you're sure to find your next vehicle at North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. Plus, all new Subarus and most pre-owned vehicles come with a lifetime warranty, so you know you're covered. You can check it out right now, NFLSubaru.com. That's NFLSubaru.com. North Fort Lauderdale Subaru, the location you know with an experience you'll love. I also want to mention here, we got a brand new sponsor on this show today. That's right. You know, sometimes there are certain sponsors that join the show and you're like, whoa, things are going really well for ZASLOW Show 2.0. Today's one of those days. Let's welcome aboard ZASLOW Show 2.0, CanesWear. That's right. Everybody give it up for CanesWear. CanesWear is on the show today, where you get your best Miami Hurricanes apparel, but not just Miami Hurricanes. Inter Miami, Miami Dolphins, Marlins, CanesWear. You know what I'm talking about. In Davie, it has the largest selection of Miami Hurricanes items anywhere. Everybody knows that. And they're our newest sponsor of Big Deal or Not a Big Deal. You know you're getting all the big deals at CanesWear. Matter of fact, you could shop right now at CanesWear.com. You could visit in person in Davie, 2655 South University Drive. It's just south of 595 on the west side of University. CanesWear. Now, like I said, certain sponsors join ZASLOW Show 2.0, and you're like, whoa, that's big time. CanesWear, that's one of those sponsors. We'll tell you more about everything going on at CanesWear coming up. Big deal, not a big deal. Every show now, official sponsor of Big Deal or Not a Big Deal, CanesWear. CanesWear.com. Super excited to have Brett and CanesWear on the show. That's how you know things are going in the right direction. All right, so yesterday on ESPN, you know how on First Take, Stephen A. Smith, he's got his Stephen's A-list. I guess he does it every Tuesday. Wednesdays on First Take are my favorite day because they have Christopher Mad Dog Russo on the show. But anyway, yesterday Stephen A. did his Stephen's A-list, and he comes up with the top 5. Okay, cool. Yesterday's Stephen's A-list was players who deserve a statue. I mean, the first thing I would say is a statue. Let's not normalize getting a statue. Statues are so rare. And just because a certain player doesn't have a statue outside of the building they played, that doesn't mean you should think anything less of them or what they mean to the team. Now here, Dan Marino has a statue outside of Hard Rock Stadium. I think Don Shula also has a statue outside Hard Rock Stadium. That's it. Now, they're going to be making a Dwayne Wade statue outside Kaseya Center, but just because you don't have a statue, that doesn't mean any less about your contribution to the team. Statues are not a normal thing. Like, it's so far above and beyond if you're getting a statue. So, the fact that Stephen A. is kind of like normalizing it, that this is a thing that you should get if you're a great player, I do not agree. So, Stephen's A-list yesterday, players who should get a statue. Number 5, he had Giannis. Again, I don't think I agree with any of these. Number 5, Giannis. Number 4, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green together. What are you talking about? Number 3, no, actually, I'll skip to 2 and 1 because number 3 is the one I want to talk about. Number 2, LeBron in Cleveland. I could probably understand that one. And number 1, Steph Curry. I could probably understand that one too. But number 3, LeBron in Miami. What are you talking about? So, not only is LeBron not going to get a statue here, I don't even know if he's going to have his jersey retired. My guess is yes, because the Heat are a classy organization, but I don't think any Heat fans would mind if he didn't get his jersey retired here. My guess is he will, but a statue, no one has even thought about this. No one has even talked about this. There is zero chance LeBron James gets a statue here. It's not even worth talking about, honestly. It's such a ridiculous sentiment. And this is where, a national analyst, or in Stephen A. Smith's case, a national opinionist. This is where you have a difference between you're on a national level and you're on a local level. Because the guy on the national level, and here Stephen A. Smith, has no idea the pulse of the Miami sports fan. No one down here believes LeBron James should get a statue. No one down here wants LeBron James to get a statue. No one down here has ever even thought about LeBron James getting a statue. There is no chance this will ever be under consideration, nor should it be. He was here for 4 years. I'll steal a line from one of the guys who tweeted at me yesterday. it would take almost as long to make the statue as it would the time that LeBron actually spent here playing. And when that's the case, I'm going to go no on a statue. But it doesn't even matter. There's no reason. It's not a normal thing to get a statue. If you have a superstar player who played for you and did a lot of winning, you retire the jersey. Awesome. A statue is so far above and beyond. And you know what? If LeBron were to get a statue here, it would take away from Dwayne Wade. It would take away from how important and cool Dwayne Wade getting a statue is here in Miami. A statue for LeBron would diminish the Dwayne Wade statue. Nobody thinks about it. Nobody has talked about it. Nobody's considered it. Nobody cares. Nobody wants a LeBron James statue. And that's where you have a national guy who doesn't understand the fan base and doesn't understand how the franchise actually operates. There's such a disconnect there. Just the fact that you'd bring it up that LeBron should get a stat. I mean, are you saying it just because it's LeBron and then people pay attention and dopes like me are talking about it? I don't know, because it's not even a realistic conversation. It's so silly. It's so silly.